Three takeaways from Atlanta United's 1-0 loss to the New England Revolution here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Final game of a really disappointing Henry 3-match homestand where you only get 4 out of a possible 9 points. You beat NYCFC, draw against Dallas after having a 1-goal lead, and then concede a penalty to Carlos Hill, who has hurt you so many times over his career in MLS, and you lose 1-0 to one of the bottom teams in MLS. Takeaway number one, Henry, another disappointing loss, and not only that, a loss where you don't score any goals. Only could manage one from the penalty spot against Dallas, and tonight you don't get anything. You have your chances. They had their chances. Latte Lot hit a post, I believe. Montiarre hit a post. Miguel Marone had a goal called offside. Latte Lot had a goal called offside, which was the right call. But outside of that, you don't put the ball in the back of the net, and it's just frustrating considering how much you've paid to bring a lot of these players in, and end of the day, you can't put the ball past Ivic, who had a great game, but you can't score. I mean, it's disappointing.
Yeah, there's a saying in Spanish, if you don't score the goals, you watch them get scored on you. That's basically what happens. If you can't score, you can't win, and when you've spent so much on your attack and the goals aren't coming, naturally the questions have to come. Questions of, is this team really a viable contender? Is this team really a team that can make the playoffs? How long is it going to take for this to click? It just, and partially it was that this team was not playing very well, especially in the first half. It was a very poor first half. But also they were just unlucky also. Several times they hit the frame. Several times Ivicic makes a really, really good save. And so maybe you do deserve a little bit more out of this game, but at the same time, if the goals aren't coming, man, I don't even know what to say at this point. And it's your third time you're shut out this season of 8 games. That's very poor. And so I don't know what else it's going to take for this team to really figure it out. But again, they need to figure it out fast because you have a lot of away games in the second half of the season. You have a lot of away games in the summer. You have 6 consecutive away games in July against tough teams. And right now you're going into 2 consecutive away games that are tough. They're against good teams. Yeah. Philadelphia and Orlando are good teams right now. And I don't think they get points from these games. The way that they're playing right now, they don't get points from those games.
Yeah, and if you look at just the balance of the match, again, they had chances. They had opportunity to score. You get to take nothing away from Ivicic, who had a tremendous game, but this team has to fight past that. This team has to get over that hump and put the ball in the back of the net. They didn't do it against Dallas. They did it against NYC. Make sure you conceded 3, but you didn't do it today. And for a team that has largely struggled to put the ball in the back of the net, this is very disappointing to lose to New England, not just because they're toward the bottom of the table of the standings, but just because you're at home, which brings us to takeaway number 2, 4 points of a possible 9 at home for a team that is looking to become a contender in MLS Cup, for a team that's looking to be in the top 4, for a team that has dominated here so many times in the past. A loss like this, I would say 3 or 4 years ago, would have been out of the question. I mean, this was I know Tommy's kind of joked around. He doesn't like the term fortress, but that's what it was. This place, teams would be afraid to come in here because they know they would stand a chance of winning in this building. Now, that's not the case. You let Dallas get a point in this place. You let New England walk out here with 3 points. Their second win of the season. It's not good enough. It's inexcusable for a team who wants to be competitive in this league to lose, not only to lose, but to only get 4 out of 9 points at home. That is disappointing. That is inexcusable. That's not good enough for this team. And like you said, you have 2 tough away matches against Philadelphia, granted without Gazdag, still a good team, and Orlando, who could contend in the East. Not good enough.
This is honestly a stretch of games that you should have gotten 9 points from. And we said it from the beginning. If they didn't get 9 points, well, not only is it disappointing, but those 9 points would have been crucial to put you really in the fight for the East, put you right back in there, especially with the two tough away games that are coming. It's a shame. This building used to be a fortress, and it just isn't that anymore. And I see the questions like, is Atlanta a bad team now? And the answer for me is, I don't really, I can't say no.
Right.
I can't say no
Can't
right
say
now.
yes. Can't say no.
And I also can't say yes.
Yeah.
Because with this level of investment, and the players, like the talent is there, but it's just not working. And it feels like, you have 11 players out there that just aren't able to put it together for a whole game. Uh, and look, the NYC game was a very good, you fought back. Of course, you had some very bad mistakes that led to the goals. And that was the encouraging part about that game, that it was the mistakes, and then you fought back from it. But you couldn't do that against Dallas. You were leading against Dallas, and then you couldn't hold on. And now in this game, you didn't have the lead at all, and you just couldn't score. You almost had it, but almost doesn't count.
Yeah.
If almost counted, Atlanta might have a couple more MLS Cups, but
exactly.
But almost doesn't count. And in this game specifically, this is the game. I think we looked at the homestand. We're like, this is the game they have to win. There's no way they don't win this game, and they don't even score.
Yeah.
And you look at it, a team that has scored 4 goals this season now. One of them is an own goal. 3 of them are set pieces, 2 of which are penalties. And not only can you not score against them, you can't even keep a clean sheet against them. Yeah. Like that's just I think how far can this team go down is what I'm seeing. And when will the rebound happen? Because there has to be a fight back. And these next 2 road games, they're hard, but there has to be a fight back. At the beginning of the season, you had what? The injuries, okay? It's the injuries. It's a tough schedule. I get that. Fine. Today, you went into this game with 2 players on your injury list. 2. New England were missing 2 of their important players. Yeah. They still dominated you for most of the first half, and even part of the second half. And it's just not good enough for a team that has the expectations that this team has. It's just not good enough.
Yeah, and they have to get points on the road now. And again, this team has traditionally not been able to do that. So that takes us to our third takeaway: Philadelphia coming up next week. A team that you've traditionally struggled with. Again, without Daniel Gaustak, who got traded to the Crew, obviously, but still a team with quality in other players. You have Andre Blake. You have players like Quinn Sullivan. You have players up and down the roster that can really make life miserable for you. You have Orlando team that made a deep run of the playoffs last season. Could be a dark horse, maybe to win the East or at least finish in the top 4. I think Miami and Columbus are still top of the East, I think. But you have an Orlando team that could be in that top 4 when it's all said and done. Quality in that roster as well. Quality players who can put the ball in the back of the net, something this team hasn't been able to do. We talked about it's so important for this team to take care of business at home, so he had some margin for error when he got on the road. He obviously don't want to lose on the road, but at least he had some margin for error, I should say, if you did drop a point or 2 on the road. Now that's gone. That's gone. Philadelphia and Orlando almost are, I don't want to say must wins, but almost are games where if you don't get anything out of these next 2 matches, you're in big trouble.
These next 2 games, I don't think it's an if you drop points. I think it's a when you drop points. I just think it's 0. I just think it's 0 points from these 2 games. They are both, to me, teams that have performed very well to start the season. Orlando is much, much better right now than they were last season, I believe. They figured out their attacking pieces. Luis Muriel, they figured him out a little bit. Marco Pasalic is real. Martin Ojeda is still, elite in this league. They have so much talent. I just don't see how Atlanta goes down to Orlando and gets anything. And Philadelphia, again, like you said, a team that Atlanta has historically struggled against. They've lost Daniel Gazdag, but will that really matter when Atlanta can't figure out their attack against one of the worst teams in the East right now? Second to last in the East going into this game, or third to last in the East going into this game, and you couldn't score, you couldn't figure it out against them. I don't expect you to figure it out on the road to a Philadelphia side that is actually off to a very good start to this season. It's just tough to see the run that this team is in, considering the expectations we had for them. Okay, you have this offseason where you spend so much on your attack, and you have this offseason where you bring back Miguel Almiron, and it's supposed to be the storybook return, and it's anything but that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
And I think Doug mentioned it in the press conference. It's the worst start to an Atlanta United season ever. How do you go down? How do you get worse
Yeah.
after spending the amount of money that you spent on this attack? After you know this miracle run against Messi and Miami in the playoffs, how do you get worse from there? It's something that I don't understand right now. And this team still has such a long way to go, and it needs to remember how to win games. It needs to remember what it was like when it was just starting. It doesn't have, it can't take anything for granted. It doesn't. There's nothing guaranteed for this team. There's nothing like there's no. They're not entitled to any points. They need to go and get them.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I don't want this to be taken the wrong way. I feel like there's a sense of entitlement in this team, that they feel like they can just come in and stomp over, for example, New England because they haven't scored, or that this is a home game against a team that isn't Miami or whatever, and they can just we're gonna go beat them. I don't think that's the case, and I think they have to realize that they're just another team right now that needs to show that they deserve to be among the greats in MLS right now, because right now they're nowhere near it.
So 1-0 the loss for Atlanta United here. The result here for Atlanta United at Mercedes-Benz Stadium against New England Revolution. Well, again, only the second win for the Revs all season long. Sweetwater 420 Fest coming up April 18th through the 20th this coming weekend at Pullman Yards. Enter to win 2 VIP tickets to the Sweetwater 420 Fest. Go to our Instagram, go to our X account, go to our Blue Sky account for all the details on that. And thanks to Sweetwater Brewery for their support of Scars and Spikes. See you next time.